Welcome everyone for joining. We're really happy today to have this roster of participants. We have Kelly Stang, the Regional Agricultural Counselor of our ATO in Bangkok at the U.S. Embassy. We have Sukanya, the Marketing Specialist, working on promoting our cheese and other U.S. food products in Bangkok. And we'll be joined by either Jaime Castaneda of U.S. Dairy Export Council or Tony Rice of U.S. Dairy Export Council to provide a trade policy update of what's been going on. So I'd like to welcome everyone today. And I'd also like to introduce our Secretary of Agriculture, Randy Romansky, who's going to provide some welcome remarks.
Thanks, Lisa. Thanks everybody for joining us today. We really appreciate so many people joining us. We in Wisconsin, we know how awesome our cheese is. We see some right behind Kelly's shoulder there, so she's displaying well today. But the really important thing today is learning more about the important work of exporting Wisconsin's outstanding cheese products around the world, sharing the gift with the rest of the world. And today's a really unique opportunity to talk to some of our partners with USDA Foreign Agriculture Service and USDA Export to talk a little bit about the Thai market and what the opportunities there may be. We're uniquely situated right now. I like to tell people that this happens, and it happens more than they might agree, but we've found that through our governor's leadership, by providing funding for exports, promoting Wisconsin products around the world, and our legislature following his lead, that we've even got some bipartisan support for efforts to market our great Wisconsin dairy crop and meat products around the world. So we are really excited because of that opportunity. We're excited about this kind of structure because there are opportunities all around the world for Wisconsin's signature products, and cheese is clearly one of them. So we're happy to be part of this discussion. We appreciate our partners joining us, and most of all, we appreciate you joining us to learn a little bit more about what some of those opportunities may be. So I will pause. I will let everybody know I'm going to have to take off about 8 o'clock for my next meeting, but I really do appreciate everybody joining today and ask questions, and hopefully this leads to some ideas for you to move product around the world. Lisa, back to you.
Thank you, Randy, and thanks so much for joining us today. The reason for this webinar has really come about over the last 6 months. I just want to give that brief overview as Wisconsin hosted a Cochrane Fellowship group from Thailand, originating from the ATO in Bangkok, and they traveled through Wisconsin. They were importers and processors and cheese processors and logistic companies, and they came to learn about artisan cheese. Due to the success of that trip, coming through Wisconsin and meeting cheese companies, we worked with Dairy Farmers of Wisconsin. Dairy Farmers of Wisconsin took a booth at TIFEX in Bangkok in May, and we were promoting Wisconsin cheese at that show. Dairy Farmers of Wisconsin was available at short notice to just pull it all together and get cheese there, and some company representatives, and we had a great reception at that trade show. So thus, we wanted to be able to provide an educational component on how to get your cheese product registered in Thailand so that we can get more, to get Wisconsin cheese in the market. We see that we can compete directly head to head with the European cheeses that are already there. And so this is the reason for this webinar today. And we have more activities in Thailand being planned for later in the year. And now I'd like to turn it over to Kelly Stang, our Regional Agricultural Counselor at ATO Bangkok, to provide some remarks about the cheese market in Thailand.
Great. So thanks to all of you. Randy, great to have you on this call. And it really tells us how important this is to your industry. And After that visit last December, it was so successful and that Wisconsin was interested to pivot a lot of resources to investigating this market. And it really is a robust space where you want to put some energy on. And with our marketing experts, we have a great team here that's ready to help and assist companies to connect and make the business relationships happen. And we've really tried to help Wisconsin put a lot of energy on our side into it. So I'm expecting only successes on this. So if Kune, if you'll pull up the PowerPoint for me, I'll get it right into it. Thailand, I'm actually a dairy farmer kid myself. I grew up on a cow or a dairy farm in Missouri and raised my own dairy cattle as a kid. So I really do like the dairy industry very much, very interested in that. And I also want to extend warm welcome and greetings from Ambassador Bob Godek. I was acting Deputy Chief of Mission this week as well, in addition to my normal job. So I mentioned to him today when I was leaving, he said, where are you going? Are you leaving? And I said, no, I'm going to go talk to the cheese industry. And he said, okay, sell some cheese and tell them all hi. So with that, if you can see can you see the presentation well enough? Has the presentation loaded? Can you see?
Yep, we can see it.
Okay. Okay, great. All right, so Thailand market overview. Let's go to the next slide, Kune. Okay, so what you see here is a good picture of Thailand's network. This is a very open economy, the second largest economy after Indonesia and Southeast Asia. We consider Thailand a middle income country, and it's a strong urbanization, and it has a per capita income of about $7,000 as a per capita in 2022. Now, Thailand's got a lot of reasons to be optimistic this year. They've really recovered well from the pandemic. The economy is on track at a 2.7% growth rate, roughly. The exchange rate's been pretty stable. And the government has set a goal here to become a high-income country by 2037. So they're really working hard in developing those relationships. Now, for me, one of the key things about Thailand is they have 17 free trade agreements, but they don't have one with us. And that's a problem because all of those countries have much more preferential tariff rates than we do. The European Union is also in the process of negotiating a free trade agreement with Thailand. So that's another threat to our business here. However, the good news is US products are considered high value products, high quality products. So when they see that little flag on products in the grocery stores or wherever they're shopping, they know that those brands are going to deliver high quality and they're interested and willing to pay more for our products. So that is a great place to be. Thailand has an agricultural export business of about 30% of of the total workforce is actually employed in agriculture. That's what I'm trying to say. And agriculture makes up about 10% of the GDP here. Crops like rice, cassava, rubber, sugar, corn, and palm oil are about 75% of total agricultural production. It's one of the world's largest exporters of rice, tapioca, rubber, frozen shrimp, canned tuna, and canned pineapple. The value of Thai food exports was 38.8 billion in 2022, and that was up 23% over 2021. So let's go to the next slide. U.S. trade with Thailand. It's the 20th most important U.S. agricultural export market for the United States. They are our 12th largest supplier to the United States of agricultural products as well, which is interesting. We are the third largest supplier of ag products to Thailand. That's about 9% of their total ag imports, after Brazil, who's the largest at 19%, and China, which is 13%. So considering China's so close geographically, I think we're doing really well and punching above our weight in that sense. About 38% of U.S. ag exports to Thailand are bulk commodities, and the bulk of that is actually soybeans. And what was interesting for me coming to Thailand was I was used to seeing soybeans being a major export to the countries I worked in, but it was animal feed. But here it's animal feed, but it's also for human use, and a lot of that goes into soy milk. It's a great destination for U.S. ag exports because the economy here is growing. It's a strong hub for tourism. We're seeing rapidly changing incomes and rapidly changing lifestyles, and people are looking for high quality food products. But we do have that little hamstring. Duties on imported U.S. consumer-ready products range from 30 to 60%. So tariffs on meat, fresh fruits and vegetables, cheeses, and processed food, including alcohol and non-alcohol beverages, are pretty high. I'd say a luxury tax level tax. but these are products also where they have little or no domestic production. So it's very much a protectionist setup. I mean, for example, they don't produce frozen potatoes here like for French fries, but they still have a tariff of 30%. So that doesn't make sense to me, but it is how it is. So let's talk about tourism. Tourism is a huge part of the economy here. And as you can see in the graph there, the pandemic hit Thailand really hard. They had almost 40 million tourists in 2019, and that dropped way off, down to almost less than 500,000 in 2021. It grew significantly and recovered very well in 22. 23, we're forecast to hit 25 million tourists. At the beginning of the year, they said we'd hit 30, but they're not going to quite make that, it looks like. The hotel industry is also very optimistic about the tourism sector, and they're seeing a strong average room occupancy rate of about 80%. So we're going to see a pickup in imported food demand, and the hotels really do drive a lot of that. So that's great. You know, they want to eat Thai food, the tourists, but they also want to eat Western food. It is the largest tourist destination in Southeast Asia. We have a very established hotel and restaurant sector, and that services a range of products that the United States is very capable of producing. We have a strong food culture here in Thailand. They market themselves as the kitchen of the world. And I like to say, we just want to supply the pantry of the kitchen of the world with US products. So that's where we want to take our business. Thai consumers in major cities love to eat out. All Thais love to eat out. I don't know, Kunle, I didn't know you cooked until recently, actually. I don't want to tease you too much, though. Euromonitor forecasts that the overall market sales of full-service restaurants will grow 10% annually until next year. But those pandemic caused sales to decline. But again, we really see that strong recovery continue to buoy up these businesses. Prior to the pandemic, there was a high growth in the number of hotels, restaurants, and other tourist accommodations that led for a greater demand for imported food and beverage items for the food service business. So people here are used to trying and interested in trying new things, and I think that's really good for us. The food retail market in Thailand, it's really, you know, as the economy grows, so does the food retail market. We're seeing the sector grew 8 to 9% in 2022. So they hit about a total value of $108 billion with a total share. This is very interesting to me. The e-commerce part of food retail grew 12%, and it makes up the 19% of the total food retail market in Thailand. Their retail formats are hypermarkets, cash and carry, supermarkets, and convenience stores. So we have a number of strong chains. And actually, for me in Thailand, it's kind of manageable, right? There's a number of different chains, there's a number of different formats, but there's not so many that you can't know them all. I feel like we have in our office very good contacts at every level. So depending on what you want to send here, we're well prepared to help you connect with those kinds of businesses. We love to talk about what our best prospects are, and I've got another page in here, but dairy products always come out on top. We're a high value producer. We produce a variety of products that are interesting to the Thais. But again, you've got to get back to that market and consumer education piece. That's very important. And it's important to invest in those relationships and building understanding of what the product can be here. Let's see, let's go to the next slide. Well, look at that, Wisconsin companies right up there at the top. This is a great example of something that my colleague here, Kunle, came up with during the pandemic. We really had to flex and be flexible and be practically yoga-like in figuring out ways to get our products to consumers and continue to promote U.S. products. This was very innovative. They had a Harley-Davidson enthusiast group deliver a variety of U.S. agricultural products to influencers. And this is obviously they're all wearing masks, and they did this during the pandemic. And then, of course, the influencers were very excited to take photos and highlight not just the U.S. agricultural products, but Harley-Davidson and other American products. So just one example of some of the creative things that we've done in this office to try to help continue to highlight the United States and show what we have as quality products. One interesting trend I should mention is online shopping and delivery in Thailand exploded during the pandemic, as it did in many places. It's estimated that the online food service delivery segment is about $486 million right now, or in 2022 at least. It's quite interesting how it grew, how it developed, and how it continues to develop. and how Thai people have really embraced, you can order anything at any time on your phone. And unlike my experiences in the United States doing food delivery, it's very, very cheap here to have something delivered. I could have a smoothie delivered to this office building in about 20 minutes for less than 50 cents as a delivery cost. So we did a Taste of America promotion with a local retail chain, just another example of something we've done here. And we ran a hybrid promotion during the pandemic. It was a 14-day in-store promotion, but then a month-long online sales promotion. And that generated almost $100,000 in sales for a variety of about almost 300 different kinds of products. We work with influencers and media. We reach about 1 million consumers through various online coverage options. So it's really about finding different ways to connect with people. It used to be very popular to do in-store promotions, which are rather expensive, but now we have many different ways to approach. So there's a lot of market opportunities here. There's a few challenges. Increasing urbanization is something we talk about a lot, but it does mean as consumers move towards cities, they have more access to more diverse products, and they're willing to try that. I do commend the Thai people. They are very open-minded about food, and they love to eat. So that's a great starting point for anything. We have a growing domestic consumer base. There's more and more people concentrating around Bangkok and central Thailand. I was talking about the growth of food delivery. That's a huge growth sector for us. Digitally influenced, that's technology uptake, and people are really into their phones as they are everywhere, but people here are very willing to use applications, apps to order. There's an app here very popular called Line, and I have to admit, I cannot understand it. It's sort of like WhatsApp. It's sort of like a shopping app. It's I don't know, I find it difficult to use, but Thai people have really embraced it and really get it. So they're willing to try new things and willing to use technology to access new things. I mentioned tourism and how that plays into the economy and also food, but I think health and wellness is a really important trend to talk about as well. About 25% of Thais consider themselves flexitarian. People during and after the pandemic see themselves as, I must take care of my body. I have to eat right so I don't get sick in the first place. And it's also an aging population here. So as people age, they're looking for, we used to call it nutraceuticals, but food that does more than just feed you. It also actually improves your health. So there's a lot of interest in that as well. Now, like I mentioned, there's some strong competition around here. Everybody who's got a free trade agreement is eating our lunch half the time, but they're not facing the same high tariffs that we are. And also, I think the supply chain and logistics, we're just further away. Most of the countries that have the free trade agreements are in the region. And then you may be aware of the supply chain issues that we had with the shipping industry during the pandemic and after, as the pandemic kind of wound down. So those are some of the challenges we face, but those are things that we're working on in different ways, and we can talk about that in a minute. I've got a list on the next slide of our best prospects. You see dairy right at the top. Of course, all of these products pretty much all face pretty high tariffs. But again, I wouldn't tell you that these are best prospects if I didn't think you could sell them here. And again, people are willing to pay a higher price for those high quality products. But dairy products means natural cheeses, artisanal cheeses, whipped cream, cream cheese, and butter. And I know, Lisa, when you were here, you did get to tour some, and Jennifer saw some of these grocery stores. And I was amazed when I moved here to see Japanese fluid milk on the shelves, Dutch milk, American milk. They don't have a big dairy industry here, so they need to import the dairy products that they want to eat. So I won't get into the other products too much here, but moving on. So what do we do? How can we help? So the Foreign Agricultural Service does this all over the world. So if you want to come to Thailand, I love it. If you want to go somewhere else, we pretty much provide the same services everywhere. Market access, our job is to make sure that U.S. agricultural products have the market access that we have in our official trade agreements with every country. So we're making sure that's enforced correctly, making sure the regulations are published and transparent. And when they're not, it is our job to get in there with the government and talk about it and try to make it right. Market intelligence, we have a lot of GAIN, we call them GAIN reports. It's Global Agriculture Information Network is what GAIN means. Those are free reports. You can read all about how to export to Thailand. You can read about market conditions and different activities that are happening here and things that we are predicting will happen. I highly recommend you look into those. matchmaking. And that's, again, we're bringing companies together to do business. And that is where we bring a lot of expertise and have a lot of deep contacts, deep institutional knowledge. Trade missions, as we mentioned, the trade mission that went back to Thailand, I'm sorry, back to Wisconsin. We had that group that came on the Cochrane program. We also have the Foreign Agricultural Service in Washington, D.C. periodically does trade missions, and they bring companies to foreign countries. So it goes both ways. And I think those buyer missions are extremely important and making the kind of contacts that people need to start business and start doing business. Seminars and workshops, just what we're doing today. This is a great example, but we also do this with Thai businesses. We do education. Maybe it's about cheese, maybe it's about biotechnology, maybe it's about fruit. It could be anything, but definitely we do a lot of outreach on a lot of different topics here. Trade shows, we just had Wisconsin here not so long ago, and we're able to include them in one of our big trade shows. We have USA pavilions at the endorsed trade shows and some not endorsed trade shows, but we try to make space and create opportunities to bring U.S. companies to the country and present them to the buyers in the country. I find that to be very powerful. Trade promotions, I talked about some of the trade promotions already that we've done, but we have ongoing annual projects, and I'll talk about our social media, Tasty USA, but looking forward to Tasty USA days to really promote a broad variety of U.S. agricultural products then. So we can go to the next slide. So Tasty USA, so our Ag attaché Eric Mullis used to say, Facebook is the Google here. Thais don't really Google things, they look at Facebook. So it's extremely important to have a Facebook presence. So I encourage you to follow and like Tasty USA. It will be all in Thai, but occasionally you can catch a video of myself doing some kind of cooking, and I'll be sure to do something with cheese very soon, Lisa. And we've got a number of little pictures there you can see of the cheese promotions we've done on Tasty USA to inform and educate people about food trends, food products in the United States. We launched that page in November of 2020, so it's been around for a little bit. Oh, I should say this, of 70 million people in Thailand, 54 million are on Facebook. That's how important it is. So if you do come to Thailand and you do want to develop a marketing program here, having a Facebook presence is very, very important. So on our page, we have about 25,000 followers, and we can reach about 500,000 of our target audience every month. We continue to try to strengthen our online presence. We have another piece, and this came about during the pandemic. We developed the American Food Academy, and that's a space where actually anyone can join and sign up. And it's we put online training in that space. So it's educational. It's we've used it. We've asked people who want to participate in our trainings and competitions to first do the online training and get their certificate, and then they can move on to the in-person and so on. So it's just another way that we can use American Food Academy to reach more people. It's another way also where we can store a variety of different kinds of training. It reaches chefs, bloggers, home chefs, even with information about American ingredients, American cuisine, drinks, wine pairing education, wine knowledge, all kinds of different things. So it's been a really good resource for us. So that's the picture here in Thailand. And of course, as mentioned, we're really excited to work with you. We're really excited about cheese. And I'll just quickly mention, we do have a product. I mentioned all the tariffs. I probably said it too many times. Don't be afraid. We're working really hard to reduce the cheese tariff. It's 30%, which is pretty high. But as we work with the government here to get the cheese, basically working with the food industry to have them petition their government and say, we need a lower tariff on cheese because we need that as part of our food production system. So hopefully we'll see that happen. But watch this space. We don't have any free trade agreements coming at us in the near future, so we kind of had to do it ourselves a little bit, and that's okay. I like a creative project. A lot of credit to my colleague Kune for coming up with this. So anyway, that's my presentation, and I look forward to your questions at the end. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Kelly. If people are following the chat, we've had Mark posted that Wisconsin exports 28 million of food products, dairy, meat, and crop products to Thailand, and of that, 30% is dairy. So we
Wow.
do already have some significant exports, and I'm assuming most of that is for dairy ingredients,
Yes.
any kind of isolate coming into the country. But does anyone right now have any questions for Kelly? We can also have questions at the end of the session if you think of something, and feel free to add something to the chat as well, and we'll bring that up. But I'll open it
And I
now.
will say, Randy, I know you've got to step off, but I wanted to thank Wisconsin for also supporting. We're going to have a food, we call it My Food Story, and Wisconsin is supporting a group of foreign chefs and bloggers and people coming to Wisconsin to do a tour, get to know Wisconsin. And then we are publishing a book that embassies will give out overseas and use it as another way to promote the variety and diversity of U.S. agricultural products. So Wisconsin will be particularly highlighted in that book. And I'm really excited about that. I'm really grateful to Wisconsin for stepping up and joining this big project, because it's a global project for FAS. So just another great way to get people to know about the middle of the United States, because we got a lot of great stuff there. And I want to get people to know that too. So thanks.
Thanks, Kelly. We're really happy to be participating in that. And, it's part of the see, feel, touch experience that
Yes.
we hope to have. Bring people here, show them all the wonderful products, have them taste the cheese, have them see where it's made, have them see all the great ways you can use this really high quality product. And we're very excited about that being a promotional opportunity. So we're excited and appreciate the partnership. And with that, I apologize, I have to step off, but really glad that you're all here. Thanks to our partners for being on and sharing some great information about the opportunities in Thailand. Have a great day, everybody.
Thanks very much, Randy. I just want to mention we have an Iron Chef coming from Thailand, Chef Ian. He will be part of this group, so we're really excited about welcoming him and the other chef and food influencers to Wisconsin. So if anyone on the call would like to be a part of this tour, please don't hesitate to contact me after the webinar this morning. But next, I want to welcome Jaime Castaneda, who is traveling elsewhere and was able to join us. And Jaime is a senior policy advocate, I could say, for U.S. Dairy Export Council and the National Milk Federation. And so, Jaime, if you would just give us some remarks on what is happening regarding trade policy, regarding cheese, exporting it to Thailand.
Yeah, no, thank you so much, Lisa. And first of all, my kudos to the Department of Agriculture of Wisconsin, obviously Dairy Farmers of Wisconsin, the Wisconsin cheesemakers. You all do a fantastic job. And basically, you had the great opportunity to listen to Kelly with the FAS post in Bangkok, in Thailand. I'm one that is well known in Washington, D.C., that I'm not your normal lobbyist, because I'm very straightforward and very honest, and I'm also very critical of a lot of times our own government. And I would tell you that the FAS post in Bangkok is superb. I was overwhelmed by the knowledge, the capabilities, the initiative. You unfortunately don't find that in a lot of other posts, which I think that Kelly can start a class. I mean, showing how to do things right. And she actually, even though it's Kelly, she has this name of Sukanya, as she likes to be called, Kelly's staff, which is absolutely excellent. Let me actually basically say that what everybody knows, that this administration and Kelly was very, very polite and very professional. I'll be less polite. That this administration certainly is not doing us any favors with respect when it comes to trade. and they have pretty much renounced to go out and lower tariffs, and it's certainly hurting us, especially when, as Kelly described it, we have to compete in places like in Thailand, which it's the change in tariffs, the disadvantage in tariffs are significant. We, the same way as Kelly was very careful, but this was an FAS initiative of that office. It wasn't coming out of Washington, D.C., but is to work with the local industry to try to lower the tariffs. Kelly and I had actually a phone call that we're trying to set up to see how we can actually contribute and help what they have done already. The Thailand is changing governments. It's still iffy to see, but I think that as soon as actually we have more clarity, we're going to actually try to do as much as we can, because we're at a really key point to gain on what I have seen in Thailand, incredibly growing demand and growing economy, and obviously more cheese being consumed. With respect to policy in general, look, we just like Kelly, FAS in Bangkok initiated this tariffs. We lowered tariffs in U.S. Dairy Export Council brought an initiative to lower tariffs in China, in Vietnam. We're doing that work in Indonesia. We started working in the UK. But I think that if the U.S. government is not going to do it, well, we're going to have to actually do it. There is actually not much other than what you have heard, IPEF, which is primarily trying to reduce the level of technical barriers that we may find in the region, especially in Southeast Asia, like Indonesia. In Bangkok, in Thailand, Kelly, I don't know if you went over that, but I don't think that we have most of any major issue. But one element that I would bring to the table is the greatest concern that the European Union is going to restart their negotiations with Thailand in September. And if they're successful, not only they will lower tariffs and make us less competitive, but actually they may even be able to work some GIs in it, affecting our wonderful product that has common names like Parmesan and others. So we're gonna keep an eye on that, and let me stop here to see if what questions or what other additional points that everybody else would actually have in addition to you, Lisa, and others.
Yeah, well, thank you. So I know that Kelly mentioned at the top before we started their initiative of communicating with the Thai government. Kelly, could you comment on that too?
Sure, happy to. So we had before I came here, they'd done a EMP, was it EMP money? Okay, Emerging Markets Program study, and spent money to create a paper to explain what it means to lower these tariffs and so on. But then we needed the second part, which is how to get the Thai food manufacturing industry to go to the government and say, hey, we should lower these tariffs, here's some facts. And so we developed that plan, and we're working with a consultancy who's actually organized the industry, and they've got all kinds of issues, right? Cheese is not maybe their number one issue, but with a little gentle help from us, they've organized themselves, and we're able to approach the Ministry of Finance and ask for a reduction in tariffs. So we're still in that process. Even a 15% reduction in the tariff would be tremendous for our business. And we really hope we'll see some reduction. I don't think it'll go to zero. I really, really doubt it. But if they would do it 15%, I'm throwing a crazy party, lots of cheese. It would be amazing. So I don't know if we'll make it. I really hope we do. But we're really putting a lot of effort on this and are very hopeful and positive about that potential. And I think working in parallel with Wisconsin and also California, but to get our products, our dairy products in the market as we're also doing this tariff project. If it happens, it's, you know, that's magic. But I think Jaime's point of the Europeans are definitely a threat to our business. Right now, we're kind of in the same position, so that's okay. But if we see them get that free trade agreement, that will really hurt us. The other piece to that is, will the finance ministry hold on to the tariff because they know they're going to negotiate with the Europeans, and that's like losing some leverage. I'm a little concerned about that. And I know Jaime was just here. I wasn't here when he was here, unfortunately. But that's the thing I'm thinking about. So we'll see what happens. But I think doing something is better than doing nothing. So I feel like we're really working to make this happen on, you know, working with you all, but also at the same time working on the tariff piece to make sure we get that kind of market and get our US cheeses out there, Wisconsin cheeses.
Yeah, that's a great point, because we have started to make contacts with these Thai companies, the importers and the processors. So the more they're on board and can communicate their desire to have US cheeses in the market for their own purposes, I think in doing it in tandem while we're working on reducing the tariff, but also still promoting US cheeses in the market, I think that's a good way to go. So any questions from anyone? Jennifer?
Sure. Kelly and Kunei, for people here in Wisconsin, most of us have not been to Thailand or see the vibrant activities of cheese in Thailand. I was very impressed and surprised to see the variety of cheeses from Europe, from Australia, New Zealand, available in Thailand. Can you give just like a 1 minute high overview or introduction of what our Kunei, why cheese is so present there in the Thailand market?
Okay, Kunei's gonna share some information next, but I will say this, what she told me was that pizza came here in the 1980s, and that was the gateway drug to cheese for Thailand. So I'll let Kunei comment on that though.
Okay, actually I'm gonna have the presentation on the cheese market opportunities before I'm jumping into the import regulation. So let me share the slide first.
While she pulls that up, I'll share just an example. I talked to my physical therapist the other day. I said, do you like cheese? She's like, I love cheese. Whenever I can, I order double cheese. And I said, do you ever buy cheese and take it home and eat it at home? And she says, no, I don't know how to do that. And I thought that was such an interesting insight. So go ahead, Kunei, tell us about the cheese market.
Okay.
Well,
hello, everyone.
I'm sorry, if I may interrupt, okay, just 1 second. If we're gonna jump, Lisa, if we're gonna jump into something, another area, we're gonna have Tony there. I'm gonna actually depart, but again, I'm at your service. Anything that actually is possible to do for Wisconsin would be my privilege to do so.
Thanks for joining us, Jaime. I know you're in the middle of travels, but thank you so much for joining us today.
No, and Tony is still there, so he can also answer any questions. And again, thanks to Kelly and the team, and also think about it not just as a Thailand as a market, and probably the team is going to say that, but what I was very impressed about is the opportunity of Thailand as a hub for re-export. So we sell our cheese to Thailand, and Thailand actually uses their labor or their other opportunities and connections with other Southeast Asia countries, and they actually re-export our cheeses. Anyway, thank you so much, and take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So Kunei, we'll turn the program over to you to highlight our cheese market opportunities. Thank you so much.
Okay, yep. Hello, everyone. Yeah, let me start with first on the Thailand cheese market. The cheese market sales was at about 68 million last year and estimates to reach 97 million in 2027. The demand of cheese in Thailand actually is dominated by the food service channel. Cheese is more regularly used in Western style restaurants with demand driven by international tourists and younger Thai consumers. So the return of the tourists, as Kelly mentioned, created more positive conditions for the development and growth of cheese in Thailand. For the imported cheese, Thailand imported cheese value at 106 million last year. 5 major suppliers of cheese to Thailand are New Zealand, Australia, USA, Italy, and France. And US ranked the third with market share of 8.5% and the growth rate of 27%. Actually, this is outpaced the market growth rate of 17 in 2022. So next, we're talking about the food service market opportunity. Actually, as mentioned, that the demand of cheese in Thailand is dominated by the food service channel because of cheese is mostly used in Western style restaurant. And there was an increasing use of cheese by chefs, bakers, and hotel restaurants prior to the pandemic, where it was increasingly incorporated into main meals and dessert. And actually, you can see some beverage as well. That I gotta continue talking about that. So due to the popularity of Western and international cuisine and more this type of restaurant are opening, restaurants serving pasta, pizza, salad, even like Korean fried chicken, as you can see from the picture, the Korean barbecue, tteokbokki, which is like and beverages as an example of menu using cheeses. So as you can see from the slide, quick service restaurants have opened branches in Thailand, which has increased cheese consumption among the local Thai consumers, such as Burger King, Domino Pizza. As you can see from the picture, Burger King just recently launched the real cheeseburger priced at about like $3. And this is kind of a limited time offer with 20 slices of American cheese in a bun without any meat inside. And that create kind of like why Thai kind of like, love cheese. And then this is just launched like, I think last month. And the Domino Pizza, next one is like 6 cheeses with mushroom pizza, and it costs about like $9. And it's contain like mozzarella, melted cheddar, emmental, ricotta, parmesan, and also American cheese slice. And from the picture, you can see the tea cheese drink. And that one actually made from cream cheese foam. And next to that, you can see like from the hotel, that is going to be the cheese room. And then it's more like the cheese buffet that you can eat, all you can eat. And the last slide, actually the last picture, that one is one of our hotel like called Sofitel. So they always organize like all you can eat cheese buffet every month for 2 hours. And cheese at the event range from the basic provolone, Parmesan, to the exotic Mobile, to like Roquefort, and cost probably about like $40 for cheese only and $60 with wines. And rather than being satisfied with the same very neutral tasting, chefs and foodies are craving something more, and this opens up opportunity for artisan cheeses in Thailand. And Thailand also shows more consumer being interested in finer cheeses and wanted to try more unique flavor. So move to like the retail market, as Kun Kelly mentioned about, like the market sector for the retail, that we have like the different format. Actually, there are 3 major types of retail trade where cheese products are available. It can be divided into like supermarket. The supermarket in Thailand, as you can see from the first row, are driven by mainly like 6 supermarkets like Gourmet Market, Top Market, Villa Market, Foodland, Back's Value, and Rimping Supermarket, which is located in the northern part of Thailand. For Top Market and Villa Market, they also do the direct import for some cheese products. And for Gourmet Market, they cater to like the high-end customer, and Top also have their own cheese room. And for Gourmet Market, they also have their own cheese counter. For hypermarket, hypermarket also have a quite nice selection for import cheese, same as Macro, which is like cash and carry similar to like Costco in the US. So they also offer a wide range of imported cheese and also import direct for some cheese products too. And for 7-Eleven, Lawson, and Family Mart, you can see mostly on like the processed cheese, like cheese snacks, cheese stick. Yeah. So you can see this is kind of like the picture that we took out from the supermarket. As you can see on the first row, actually that is taken from Gourmet Market. They have like the cheese counter that you can see, and also like the cold cut, that kind of things. And the second row is from Top Supermarket, and that one on the left corner, left below, actually that is their cheese room. And in the middle, that is the top 5 food format. And on the right one, that is for processed cheese and spreadable cheese are seeing a faster recovery and higher demand for home consumption due to the like convenience and also the ease of use. And the opportunity for artisan cheese is also growing for this sector, but at a slower pace comparing to food service market. So this one actually just want to show you another format of top 5 food. Actually, this one belong to Central Food Retail and is the newest format, opened November last year. The store target high-end modern customer who seek some like sophisticated products that are exclusive and hard to find in Thailand. This actually is under a concept of finest food from the world. You can see a variety of cheese from all over the world, and we are thinking having the Wisconsin cheese to be one that on that shelf too. So just want to give you more idea about the pricing of the retail price for cheese. Cheese here classified into 2 types, like processed cheese and unprocessed cheese. The processed cheese account for about like over 50%, like 55% for the cheese market, and unprocessed cheese is account for about like 45%. For processed cheese, it can divided into 2 types, the spreadable processed cheese and other processed cheese. For the spreadable processed cheese is about 20% of that market, and other processed cheese like snack cheese, sliced cheese, cheese sticks, squid bottles, and square candy, that is around 35%. And the price range you can see is about like $2 for the imperial one. This is the imperial processed cheddar cheese. That one made locally from KCG, and the cost is just like $2. And for $7, that is for Baker cheese from Australia. That one is about $7. That is imported one. And for processed cheese, that one is we divided into hard cheese and soft cheese. The hard cheese is about 25%, and such as like the product like Parmesan, Parmigiano, Emmental, Romano, and for that cheese, especially for Thailand, they use for like pizza, pasta toppings, and used to do some sauces. That one. And for another 20% for soft cheese, include like mozzarella, ricotta, brie, and feta. You can find it's available in Thai market. And pricing for the retail price can range from like 5% from here that you can see BM Teller, which is like from Australia, is about like $5 up to like for Landana, which is like the organic aged Dutch cheese. So next, talking about like the cheese marketing, via social media. Actually, social media in Thailand is very important to promote cheese in this market. The use of like influencer, like KOL, the key opinion leaders, are very popular and quite successful in Thailand to promote the brand awareness and also attract the consumer interest. As you can see from this, it's just like I'm Googling and then put something like cheese board, and it's pop up like 100 of that. So that is kind of the example that you can see how important of social media. So if the Wisconsin company want to come and market things in Thailand, you can promote it through social media and influencer. And next, as Kun Kelly mentioned about our trade show, that is very important. ThaiFex Anuga 2023 is very successfully welcome and introduce artisan Wisconsin cheese to Thai food industry. And I want to show you some video.
Not too long ago, we sent some Thai buyers back to Wisconsin, and they got to know these master cheesemakers in Wisconsin, and they were so excited about the products. And Wisconsin was like, wow, Thailand's an amazing market for our products. So let's get there. And today we've got such an incredible selection of award-winning cheeses like Satori, Carvalli. So it's just the right moment.
Just hold on for a moment. Let's download it a bit. Yeah, while we are waiting for the presentation to upload it, Kelly, you have anything to?
Oh, well, this was a, nice video that Anuga did, or ThaiFex Anuga did at the show. And just another way we could highlight the Wisconsin presence there. And they're actually going to put this next year and like use it as a promo for next year's show. So the experience of Wisconsin and the presence of Wisconsin will live on actually for another year in this video. So and I think you told me they're going to show it as like the major promotion video. So it's kind of perfect. The Germans and the French aren't there. America's there. So you want to try to play it now?
Yeah, just
okay.
If I could just real quick jump in. David Corcoran had a question about the breakdown between bulk and retail packed cheese. If you maybe have that number, since our data tool doesn't really provide that.
I have to go back and check, but based on my rough estimation, I think the bulk cheese is gonna be more kind of like 70% comparing to like the retail one, which is like I think about probably about 30%, because for bulk cheese, but in Thailand now we also bringing in a lot of bulk cheese to be used for food service and also for reprocessed as the processed cheese too. That's why I think in terms of the volume wise, it's going to be about like 70-30, but I have to go back and check again. But this is my rough estimation.
Great, thanks.
Yep, and just want to tap in before, just like while waiting for the video to download it. Actually, this ThaiFex Anuga 2023, this kind of show actually is recommended for the US company to market their product, test the market, and meet key buyers in Thailand. And ThaiFex Anuga actually is the leading annual food and beverage show in Thailand. And our office has now committed to have the US pavilion in this show also for next year. And we are expecting that the Wisconsin cheese, the FBO will come back and then have their own presence now as a whole booth. For the
definitely want to get in on that show. And I think now that the Wisconsin representatives were able to come and see the show, you can really get the value of what's there and why it's an important show for presenting new products, innovative products, and also reaching a lot of these big buyers who would want exactly this. So do you want to try again? Sent some Thai buyers back to Wisconsin, and they got to know these master cheesemakers in Wisconsin, and they were so excited about the products. And Wisconsin was like, wow, Thailand's an amazing market for our products. So let's get there. And today we've got such an incredible selection of award-winning cheeses like Satori, Carvalli. So it's just the right moment, I think, as Thailand's getting, going again with tourism. We'll probably see 30 million tourists in Thailand this year. Perfect moment to bring these award-winning cheeses to this country. This is. I think the internet's not strong enough for this.
Okay, yeah.
Such an exciting show for us. Well, the point is, we really had a good showing. We had beautiful outlay.
I actually want to see the crowded or the participants.
Oh, you want to show them how? Okay.
It's okay. I can just skip this one.
We'll send you the presentation after, if that's okay, Lisa.
Okay.
Yes,
let me go-
absolutely.
Yeah, let me go to the next slide then. Okay. Okay. So now we're going to start with the procedure for importing cheese products to Thailand. Most processed food require product registration with the Thai FDA and also require some documentation, including like food formula, labeling requirement, and import license for food products. The main body responsible for food safety in Thailand is the Food Bureau of the Thai Food and Drug Administration under the Ministry of Public Health. In general, it is recommended to ensure that your exporters have a basic understanding of import regulation before exporting product to Thailand. And here are some key steps. Like first, the importer actually they need to obtain the necessary food import license, which is about like $440 per 3 calendar years. And that one is not the responsible for the US company, but it's more on the importer side. And also cheese must be registered with the Thai FDA prior to the importation. And that one is also fall under the importer here in Thailand. Next is going to be the preparing right documents required by the Thai FDA. And that one, they need a lot of assistance from the US company to prepare all those documentation and check all requirements to ensure that the product comply with necessary registration, ensure the necessary documents accompany the shipment. And for imported food and for imported food products, they all are subject to import duty. This is like the import tariff. For cheese is about 30% and value added tax. 30% tariff rate are applied to cheese import from the US to Thailand. And Thailand applies international food standards such as like good manufacturing practice, GMP, HACCP codex. So our post actually has updated all these requirements in GAIN report system that Kelly mentioned earlier. Please kindly check all these requirements at our website, www.fas.usda.gov, or contact our post if you need additional information on this prior to the export of products. So next, cheese actually is categorized under standardized of food, and the Thai FDA actually classify food into 4 categories, which is like, specially controlled food, standardized food, food with labeling, and general food, and cheese under the standardized food. And what that means is that cheese needs to comply with all standards that complying to the Ministry of Public Health registration, which is like number 209. And what is that? Is that notification define the standards like permitted food additives, the GMP compliance, and the label requirements. So for food additives allowed to be used in cheeses, including colors and food preservatives. I have to give this information because some of cheeses you use like, the yellowish color, which is like annatto. And actually that annatto, the permitted maximum level is 25 ppm. And some they put kind of like, like seasoning, which is like paprika, Oreo, resin. And that permitted level is at 4,400 ppm, same as camins, carotene, and other food additives you can check on their website too that can be used in cheese product. This is very important because sometimes you put something that is over the limitation and then the product got rejected. So as I mentioned that there are some required documents, but the most important piece of information that the exporter have to prepare for the importer is the Good Manufacturing Practice certificate. And that one or other equivalent certificate. And that one actually comply to the Ministry of Public Health number 420. And that one, let me give you just like the summarize, is that this certificate is to be issued by the recognized regulatory agency, which is like the government of the exporting country. This means that we can issue from USDA, the US, like the State Department of Ag, or even like, like the certificate of free sale or third party accreditation body. And the certificate should be valid and define the exact expiration date and also other equivalent system So I will give you some example after this, but let me just go to the example. So this one actually is a certificate of good manufacturing practice issued by the state of Utah. And if you can see, there are 5 important elements that the Thai FDA will always look for. The first one is that the certificate is to be issued either by the government or the accreditation body. So this one is issued by the government, which is like the Department of Agriculture and Food under the state of Utah. The second element is the food manufacturer's name and address and scope of product, or like, like the category of products. And next is like the statement indicated is the GMP, good manufacturing practice compliance, and the validity of the certificate. This is the example of the government one. Next one is the one that issued by, like the certification body, and they need to have the accreditation body that is accepted by the Thai FDA. And in this case, it's like ANSI. And other element is the same. And if you look at this certificate, actually the equivalent standard to the Thai FDA GMP is a SQF, Food Safety Code. If I go back a bit earlier, this will provide you other equivalent international standard that is accepted by the Thai FDA. This is like the SQF, Food Safety, HACCP, the Food Safety and Management System, and the global standard for food safety under BRC. And for the US government itself, if any state Department of Ag can issue, or even the US FDA can issue any statement that put it in the easy one, like the simple one, like the food product is manufactured by US processing plant, which is subject to 21 CFR Part 110 or 117. That will be accepted by the Thai FDA too. So, and this one, same, it's the one that issued by the accreditation body. And this one is the equivalent standard to the Thai FDA GMP, which is like the Food Safety System Certification, FSSC 22,000. Another one, this one is for the global standard for food safety, which is like the BRC standard. So next, we move to the labeling requirement. And this information actually is going to be prepared by the Thai importer, but the information they needed from the US company. So I just put it here. There are some required Thai language label for cheese product too. First element is going to be like the name of food. Like this is like cheddar cheese slice, and name and quantity of the ingredients in food. The third one is like the content, and the fourth one is the food serial number, and that one will be given out later by the Thai FDA after they register the product. And 5 is the name and address of food manufacturer or repacker. And 6 is the name and address of importer. 7 is manufacturing date, expiration date, of you can use like best before too. And 8, like suggestion warning statement, like, any allergen information, need to put it here. And 9 is like specific requirement. That one is more like the storage and handling, like the temperature, the right temperature, that kind of things. And the regulation related to the labeling requirement is under here, like 367, 383, and 401. Mm-hmm. So that's all.
That's a lot. Okay. Well, we welcome your questions on those topics. I know that was a lot to take in, but we're going to share that with Jennifer when it's
Yes, we'll be able to share out all the presentations as well as the recording today to everyone. And we can also share the gain reports that you publish for the exporter guide and the food and agricultural import requirements to everybody on the call today, the webinar today, as well as others who might be interested. Are there any questions from our audience today that they'd like to pose either in the chat or unmute yourself?
Hey, Lisa.
Yes.
Jacob from the Stone Group. A question I have is, you listed which documents can be used for registering, specifically SQF or something that has to do with good manufacturing. When we have those documents created, What happens from that point? Does our importer need to take that document and complete registration, or is there something that we do hands-on for Thailand in order to get our products registered?
You can pass that out to the importers. Just like a copy of that is no need to be the original one. Hello?
Does that help?
Does that
Did
answer
you
your
hear?
question, Jacob?
To confirm the importer has the responsibility to complete the registration then?
Yep.
Okay, yep,
That's
that
correct.
answers the question.
Okay, we have a question in the chat. Do you need Thai labeling for bulk cheese and food service too?
Actually, it's gonna be for bulk cheese. Sometimes if you put it on, like the macro, which is like cash and carry, you need that label too. But for the food service, it's gonna be something short in the information. I can send that later to you. Yeah, just like a few elements that may needed by for the bulk commodities. But for food service, the same too.
So for food service, it's the same for retail. It's the same as the retail.
Yeah.
Am I okay?
Right.
So retail and food service labeling is the same.
The same.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions from our audience? So it's important to, so just so I understand as well, so it's important to first secure an importer who will be willing to take on the product, and that importer will submit all the paperwork. And then,
Yes.
is that correct? And then, but the paperwork is still attributed back to the company, not necessarily to the importer. I'm just wondering who holds the registration for the product.
The importer gonna hold for the registration.
Okay.
And in Thailand, actually, the importers, once the importer registers the product, like another importer also still can register the product, but it's going to be under different importer. It's not like exclusively for just importer. For example, one brand, like let's say like brand A, already registered by the importer one, right? The second importer can still register that brand A again, but with different importers' name.
Okay, so you could have multiple importers, maybe depending on the market segment you're going after?
Yes,
Okay.
that's correct.
Okay. Well,
Well, if
this
there's
has
more
been,
questions, you can always email us, and Lisa will help facilitate that communication if you're not sure. And, if we need a phone call, we can do that if you're willing to stay up late, or we'll get up early, or however you want to do it. So, we're available, and we really want to help Wisconsin have a really strong start in this market and establish you. And that way, future export opportunities will just keep coming up. So we're really excited about this.
well, I want to thank Kelly Stange. Thank you so much for providing your information about the Thai market, and from Kune for providing all the technical assistance and overview of the cheese market, and to Jaime Castaneda for jumping in on trade policy. I think this is an important, Thailand has become a highlight for us and an important market for us to enter into, and we'd like to be able to have everyone be able to get their products into Thailand and sell in that retail and food service market. So thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. We'll be posting this to our website, and if you have questions, feel free to contact us at DACCAP, and we'll be able to send out information on the presentations after the webinar. So thank you very much, everybody. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you in Bangkok.
Have a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day, everyone.